Oh, yeah. Yeah. There she goes. She's a good fit. I think it just got overheated and seized up on there. What's up, everybody? Jessie with Jesse's Performance here to talk about the SPEC clutch that we had taken out of the NASROD. So what we have here is we have the SPEC mini twin that was in the car with the throttle bearing. We had just got this thing back from being fixed / rebuilt the third time. Okay, when I originally built the NASROD, I just wanted a small diameter clutch to help the engine rev fast, and this is what I ordered. It's had good reviews, it was a great clutch. We went to Vegas the very first time and broke it. Sent it in, had it fixed. They sent it back to us and we ran it for a while, a long while actually, and then we had a leak coming from the throttle bearing. I said, okay, that's no problem. We got a new style throttle bearing, send it back. We sent it back in after breaking it at LS Fest. Go ahead and give him some more, give him some more. And we had it rebuilt. New clutches, new steels, new flywheel, and new throttle bearing. Well, the other day we went to Rat Rodtober and I attempted to do a burnout. And yet we had another clutch failure. At this point I was super irritated, marginally pissed off, more embarrassed than anything, but I was on a mission and determined to figure out why this keeps failing and what we can do to prevent it next time. Little did I know, and man, have I learned a lot about these clutches in the past week, but this clutch was the wrong clutch for our application. This clutch was designed for a road race, non-slipping, just shift it into gear and go kind of scenario, NASCAR, road course, that kind of stuff, to where it's just being applied, holding power and going. Well, in the NASROD, we do clutch kicks, clutch slips, anything that you can do to damage a clutch, we do it. And this clutch is just not heavy duty enough and is not designed to take that. So what we're having is we're having the throttle bearing fail, and it's a simple design, but what was going on is it was overheating and binding and not releasing the clutch all the way, and it was tearing up the clutch discs and overheating things. So I called them, they said, yeah, inspect the clutch, see what you think. And let's see if we can get you set up with something better. We have a better clutch for you. So before we get into that, let's take a peek at this clutch. I haven't even looked at it. I don't know what it looks like. We just took it off the car. The flywheel's still on the car because Kyle likes to, we use ARP 12-point bolts that are kind of shallow on the head. Well, it never fails. Every time we put them together, they round off. I don't know what it is. We're getting too jiggy with it. So, but anyways, let's take a peek at this. All right off the bat here, we can see that all of the material is completely wore off of this thing. This thing had material like a brake pad or like a clutch disc would have. It is completely wore off. What you see here is just residue that melted back to the plate because it was so hot. We had major failure. And then if you look at this steel disc here, it is cracked and broken and brittle, and that is just, all that is just signs of overheating and fatigue. And keep in mind, we literally drove this thing onto the trailer, drove it off the trailer, and around the block, essentially, is what we did. And this was the damage that we got because the throttle bearing was being used inappropriately by us. So yeah, that steel is completely broken. It's supposed to be one nice solid flat ring, and it is bowed, it is tweaked, it is bad. Our second disc, we are seeing the same deal. Okay, it is destroyed also. Even worse than the first one. And then same with our steel here, it is in worse shape than our first one too. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get this one out of here. Wow. This is literally the most amount of carnage I've ever done to a clutch. I mean, look at that. And then our third clutch disc, same deal. It's got a little material left. It's the furthest out from the flywheel, so it's the furthest thing slipping, but it is tore up. And not only that, there's this major discoloration and warpage of the fingers, which means we just got this, literally just overheated this bad boy. And that's our main friction. It looks to be not as bad. It's just got the clutch material burnt to it. All in all, this clutch, total loss. Total loss. No, ain't nothing salvageable, which is no big deal. We got good people. SPEC always helps us out and takes care of us. So putting that aside, let's talk a little bit about why this failed. And basically, again, the throwout bearing got stuck, didn't allow the clutch to release all the way. All 3 discs slipped. And, you know, first instinct is to blame the clutch company. Well, at some point, as a builder and as a guy that works on these things, you have to take yourself in accountability. So essentially, I saw this clutch, I thought it was appropriate. It said drifting on the thing, it was used for drifting. I didn't do any much more research than that. I should have called and said, hey, this is what I have. Can you spec me a clutch? Literally, that's their name, that's what they do. I didn't do that. I let my own ignorance and pride get in the way and figured I knew what I was doing. Well, I was wrong. And it's plagued us with issues since day one because of that. So I learned my lesson. I called in, I talked to David over at SPEC. Really nice people over there, really good people. They always take care of us. And they set me up with this 8 3/4 unit, I believe is what he said the measurement was. It's definitely, you can see apples to oranges here, a lot difference in size, right? But I'll take this bad boy, we'll flip it over here. I mean, you can see this thing is a lot different, just in visual size, right? So, and then what I like about this clutch already, and this is my first time opening this bad boy up and looking at it. I've never had one of these before, but I like that it looks more traditional, like a traditional clutch, which means it's going to have longevity and durability like a OEM style clutch design. Oh yeah, right off the bat, this thing here, I'm gonna take these bolts out just so we don't lose them here. But we can see that this is more of a traditional style clutch, right? It's got these pieces here, which dampens the harshness of the clutch. So this thing's gonna drive a lot better. It's got a sprung 6-puck disc system, also gonna make it drive better. It's bigger, which allows more surface area, which means it's going to grip better and allow it to be slipped better without overheating. Bigger, much thicker steels to handle the heat better. You can see the difference there in thickness and in surface area for clamping power, right? That's going to allow us to be able to slip and clutch kick and do 4th gear clutch drops and shit a lot better. Another big disc, non-sprung on this one here, because it's the bottom one. It's just there to help clamp things. It just gives it more friction area. And then this area here, also on the flywheel, is going to be a lot more surface area. Obviously, the more surface area, it's like your brakes. The more surface area, the heavier duty materials is going to allow it to absorb more heat. More heat means more friction means more grip means more power transfer through it. That's all it is. So I'm excited. Obviously this clutch is quite a bit heavier than our old one, so the engine isn't going to rev quite as fast as it used to. I'm interested to see how that affects the way it sounds and performs. But I also know that the heavier clutch is going to keep the engine rotating longer, which is going to make driving it a lot better, like around pits and real slow speed stuff, because we got a real big cam and real small gear, so it lets to lurch a lot. This clutch should help us dampen that a little bit. So all in all, I am super optimistic about this clutch and the way it's going to react in the NASROD. It better work, because we're going to SEMA. We're going to perform our butts off. We're going to put on a show like we never have before. And hopefully we don't have catastrophic failure, but I guarantee you, if we have failure, it's gonna be something to see, because we have the most heavy duty parts we can buy on this thing now. Steering, clutch, motor, it is just built to the tilt. So if this thing breaks, it's gonna be probably in flames, or it's gonna be gnarly. So
see that.
it's okay. We're prepared for fire and everything, so we're gonna be all right. But yeah, we'll see you there.